Okay, we're back. We're doing it again. It's episode 8 here of the Oz Couple. Uh, we missed an episode, which kind of screwed me up. I thought we were on episode 9, but it's episode 8 because we had a skip week. But that's okay. We fixed the little graphic, and it's all accurate, and we're here, and we're doing the thing, and we can always tell where Allison is now because we can either see the crown or we can't see the crown. Wait, I cannot hear you. Why can I not hear you? Why can't I hear you? There we go.
Because I muted myself and I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes.
So the crown is back. Be quiet during ducks.
Shh. The ducks. The crown is back. Crown is back.
Yeah. It's good. Crown is back.
Mm-hmm. Official Princess of Oz when you're in Ohio.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just Galindified.
Right.
When I'm here.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Everything I do is for good.
Sure. Whatever you got to tell yourself, guys. We're gonna do something a little different this time around. Also, I forgot I had to. We have a secret guest. Nobody knew that we were going to have a secret guest this week. Nobody knew. That this was happening at all. No, nobody knew at all. And I didn't actually occur to me to ask her how long she would like to stay. And we'll figure that part out before we get too deep into this. But tonight we're gonna we have sort of a usual rabbit hole format. That goes along with some stuff as far as the museum. But because tonight we actually have a special guest in the back, we're going to kind of bring her out and kind of focus on her and just let the rabbit hole kind of flow through whatever we want to do with her and however long she wants to hang out. So I can see her laughing in the background already. So let's just
the rabbit hole is appropriate for this guest too.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's Laurie Calcaterra. I will let her introduce herself, but for those that don't know, Laurie is a comic book writer. She's been doing this for a while for a bunch of different people as well as herself, and she is officially part of the BDI family as of last year. She was part of the BD14 anthology. So if you have one of those and you'd like to open it up and follow along, you are welcome to do so. If you've got questions for Laurie or any of us as we're going along talking comics and stuff tonight, again, you're welcome to jump in anytime you like. But I'm going to stop talking now and let Laurie say who she is. Do your thing. Explain yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Laurie Calcaterra. As Tom said, I'm a writer-creator of a comic book series called Path of the Pale Rider. I've written for other creatives. I've done anthologies. I did a long run with William Russell on Psycho Sal. So I've written horror and Western and comedy. I've done, I worked with Terry Parr on his series called Gemini Force, which is hilarious. I don't know if you've read Gemini Force, Tom. Terry Parr is great, by the way. So in fact, I just released his cover tonight for issue 7, Path of the Pale Rider, which is coming soon. So I just thought I was like, Tom and I both work with Terry Parr. It would be fitting if I released that cover tonight. So
sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw it, in fact, as I was scrolling around while waiting for you guys. I was like, oh, there's
Terry.
Yeah, there's Terry. There's Terry. Yeah.
I also host a podcast on Tuesdays called the Tuesday Morning Brew. Tom has been a regular on. In fact, I think he wins the participation badge for 2025 so far. He's had the most appearances on the show. So I'm no stranger to the rabbit hole. We do a 2-hour block and we talk about anything that's shiny. We're like little raccoons on it.
I gave her no choice. I simply saw her calendar and said, here, and here.
Yep.
And just put myself on the calendar, and that was that. So
5. Okay.
No, 3. It's only 3.
It was 3?
It's only 3.
4.
No, it's 3. Because we did one in January, and then we did one in May, and we did one in June. Yeah.
Do you have another one this year?
Nothing scheduled, but I have been told that should somebody drop out, I am the backup.
Yes, you are the official backup. Because I am actually booking into February at this point. for
Wow.
2026. Yeah, for that show. So it's been quite popular, especially. I think it's because Tom and everybody else keeps getting like multiple spots. His little people are like, "You're booked out to when?" And then they just grab spots. So yeah, that's awesome. What I do. Yep. I murder fruit sometimes. That's a fun time.
Okay.
Yeah, I dress up as Pikachu, and I like to smash watermelons and pumpkins on my show. We call it the Slice and Dice. It's a lot of fun. So we've done that as well. Shenanigans.
I love it.
It's just a Gallagher ripoff. She's just a Gallagher.
Yeah, it's 100% it is. But it's fun because the people from like when we run a Kickstarter, we have stretch goals that unlock like the Slice and Dice. And so they get to vote on the murder weapon of said fruit or vegetable. So they get to like, fan participate.
You did a great video when I was on your show last. You did a great video where you were in the Pikachu. So it was like a video game thing, right? So
yes,
like Street Fighter, right? So you had the two characters, like choose your character or whatever. So she's on this side as the Pikachu, bouncing around, like here's this weapon and here's this weapon or whatever. And then on the other side, it's just flashing through things that she can destroy. And it's so good. It's really fun. It was really, and you know me, I'm like, I don't care about your video. Stop showing me your video. But that was fantastic. It was so well done and so clever. Ron, welcome. What's going on, man?
Hi, Ron.
You did a great job on that. I mean, you do a great job on all your videos. I've given you large props for all of that because I have no time or energy for anything that you're doing in those types of things. But I watch you do it, and I'm like, I mean, she's just all in. This is fantastic.
I don't know. I'm the only person weird enough to do the things that I do in my Kickstarter videos. Like,
yes,
Allison, I ran myself over with a car once. Okay. And I put that in like the very beginning of the video because again, it's like when you run a Kickstarter, nobody watches the videos. And Tom's like, that's why I don't bother with it, is because people don't spend time watching the videos. But I try to do something crazy at the beginning of it. So then people are like, what is she going to do? What else is she going to do? So I've thrown like, we had this whole thing with chicken nuggets because of my videos. It's just, it's crazy. So we actually have merch that's like dinosaur chicken nuggets wearing cowboy hats because of my Kickstarter videos.
All right.
It's just what happens. So I don't know. I haven't seen anyone else run themselves over with a car before. So
Judy,
I can't say that I have either.
I didn't do it this time. I did fall down right in the beginning, but only one time. Just one time.
Okay.
See, we needed you to make an Oz video. When we had you. Yeah, for when you did your Oz book. We should have had you do something from an Oz standpoint. Didn't even contemplate that. Because again, I just don't care about videos.
It's not. But I mean, I'm with you. Like, it's the things that I dislike that I don't spend time on either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, email list.
Yeah.
People are like, you need an email list, and I was like, do you know how many emails I delete because you get so many, and I'm just like, delete.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I probably should have an email list, but it's just another thing to manage.
It's always one more thing.
The videos sound more exciting. So
to me, I think so. And in fact, when I run a campaign, a majority of my marketing is like shorts and reels because I think that's what people are watching these days. They, they either tune in for a show or it's like they have 30 seconds of bandwidth for you to catch them, and that's it. Otherwise,
exactly.
Right? Such goldfish attention span that we all have now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, Allison, for next year, for the Wicked West's 15-year anniversary, we're going to need you to do some videos for us. I'm in. We'll have to figure out what to do. We'll have Laurie like storyboard us some ideas.
Okay.
And then
I'll be the Wicked Witch. Yes.
I mean, maybe we can just get videos of me like riding a horse and actually shooting stuff.
Wow. Can you do that? You can ride and shoot things?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't tried simultaneously, but do both.
I was like, bucket list. That's on your bucket
list.
Right?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to try.
Yes, 100%.
I feel like that would be insanely hard.
It looks hard to me.
You're very bouncy, but
writing and shooting
is competitive.
Writing and shooting is simple, very simple.
Writing and hitting your
target.
Writing and hitting a target, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the target. Just worry about the bang bang, and
for a video,
we
could always edit it to get like clever editing. You know what I mean? Like you shooting, looking intense, and then a pumpkin blowing up in the background.
Literally, Ron just was like, "No, don't shoot the pumpkin."
Yes, shoot the pumpkin.
Poor Jack.
Make it a scarecrow. Well, I don't know, scarecrow. We don't want to shoot the scarecrow from your book, but we could do
it would just go right through him. I mean, it wouldn't even.
Yeah, no. Unless you have a shotgun, it's not really blowing things up anyway. It's just going straight through.
They just stuff it back in. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We can make it extra cinematic. So you shooting things.
Hi, Greg. Yeah.
And then putting like an M80 in a pumpkin and blowing it up. And then
yes. Yes.
Clever editing. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, it's doable. It's doable. It's just, again, it's just the time. I think, but the thing is I think it's not even the time. It's the enjoyment of doing it. If you enjoy doing it, then you're fine.
Yeah.
So you've got to find some aspect of it that you're like, I just like doing this. And then you're good to go.
Come to Texas. Well, whose horse was that?
Oh, whose horse was it?
That was a horse that I borrowed. So there's a woman who has some beautiful horses that she shows, and so she let me play with Tony for an afternoon and do a little bareback riding and take some pictures because he looks just like Toto.
He does. He's so great.
Yeah, she's got some great pictures from that shoot. You know how there was a time a few years ago where everybody was like launching off like weird colored smoke and stuff behind them and all that kind of thing. So she's got some stuff like that from that shoot. And it's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a professional photographer or?
Yeah. Yeah. And she was just like, hey, I have these smoke bombs. You want to try something? And I was like, sure, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm up for anything.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a fun shoot. That was right before, like literally right before the 2022 festival.
See, so Tom, here's what I'm going to suggest. So Allison, when you do the shoot for Oz, we'll figure out some Path of the Pale Rider cosplay as well, because we're also a Western, and I would love to get some footage of you riding a horse with some Path of the Pale Rider garb on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm stealing your cosplayer.
This is how we deal with this. We just say, put an end to that immediately.
You know what? That is just poetic because I boot people off my show all the time.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody's stolen me from Tom, so
there's enough Allison to go around. I feel like she could just use the same horse.
Right.
It's hard to get a horse.
Right. I will share.
You're in Texas. It's not hard to get a horse.
Well, Allison could come to me, but I don't own a horse.
Don't they just roam free in Texas? I mean, they're just everywhere. No?
Cows, yes. Cows.
Oh,
There's kind of cows everywhere, but horses, not so much. You got to know somebody. And I'm originally from Michigan, so don't have any farm friends yet. Wait, yes, I do.
Well, there's lots of farm stuff in Ohio, so
yeah. There's farms in Michigan too, but they're like alpaca farms.
So many. We've got those too. We've got those too. Alpacas. Everything. I think where I grew up, everyone I knew either like had a vineyard or dairy cows. or something, everybody was in 4-H. So yeah, it's not too hard it's not even a 6 degrees kind of thing. It's just like, oh, hold on, let me call my friend down the road. So yeah, we can make things happen.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Woohoo.
Okay. Tom's like, Laurie, you're fired.
I'm going to go onto your calendar and book myself for the entire year.
Not.
So every week I'm on your
cancel.
show.
Cancel. Like, you cannot do the entire month of March next year. You just cannot. Okay. He's going to wear the same shirt every time just to like.
That's true.
People be like, oh, it's
just one long, 8-hour episode.
He'll just turn it off. People be like, no, I already seen Tom.
I do that all the time.
It's true.
To Tom?
He sends me a text message. I'm like, I've already seen Tom.
Talk to him this morning. We're done with that now. Yep. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. I love you.
Tom, I've actually been really good. I've been trying not to send you all the things I see that are Godzilla and Jaws related because there's a lot now.
Yeah, there's a lot. I get a lot.
I know. I'm sure you already get it.
This lady, right? Judy, sends me a lot of stuff. She's actually a Godzilla fan too, and she likes pop culture in general. Like she's just like, I like all of this stuff. You like all of this stuff. Let me show you some stuff. So yeah, I get it all the time.
It's a lot of stuff.
Usually around the end of like Thanksgiving is where I usually get inundated with pictures of the Godzilla Christmas tree that I think is in Japan that like breathes smoke. Like everybody's like, have you seen this? I'm like, I saw this 10 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I figure.
But it's fine. It's fun, and
it's
every
like,
now and then.
Look at this. Tom would like this. Should I? Nah, he's already seen it.
No, he's already seen it. Yeah. Every now and then something's in there that it's like, oh, I haven't seen that. That's a good one. But I'm pretty deep in the worlds that I live in. So it's hard to surprise me with that stuff, but it's okay. Yeah. It's cool to connect with people that are like, oh, either like, oh, I saw this and I thought of you. That's awesome. Or like, oh, I saw this and I really loved it. I thought you'd like it too. Like, that's awesome. That's the community, it's just the way it works. That's the way it should work. So I have no problem.
That's how it is with me and Oz stuff. People send me stuff and I'm like, yes, I've seen this, but thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, I get that with bears. People send me bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part of her book is
like stuff,
a big zombie
bears,
bear,
or just random.
We have this giant undead bear named Big James.
Love it.
That you meet right in issue 1, and I mean he's not really in a ton of issues. He's in issue 1 and he's in issue 3, but he's a bad day. Like if you meet this guy on the road, you better trip somebody because you're not getting away from him. So these are kind of like our unofficial mascot. And so he's on a bunch of stuff. I got like t-shirts and keychains and stickers and chibis. And I don't know. Did I show you this one, Tom? Were you there? Were you there when I showed you?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw this guy? So this is my newest. It was Carissa Grant's sculptor that she let me use. She suggested that we sculpt this guy. So we did like a spoof of Big Boy
That's
James.
Funny.
Yeah. So he's got like eyeballs in his burger. It's pretty funny. So he turned out just amazing. So, and we got Big James everything. So people always send me bear stuff.
Okay.
Fun times. But what kind of Oz stuff do people send you, Allison?
Oh, I mean, mostly it's just, hey, have you seen this? All the time. Comics, memes, news, new toys coming out.
See, that's why she's tired of me because I send her that stuff too. I'm just like,
oh, that's just from Tom.
Here's a cartoon that I saw, and she's like, yep. Yeah.
Like, I saw that a really long time ago.
Like, keep up.
Old hat. Old hat. So let's talk about Oz a little bit here, more specifically. I'm kind of curious because I don't think I ever asked you when I asked you to be a part of the BD14 anthology and write the Allison story. Mm-hmm. Do you have any Oz in your background as far as like, oh, I remember this or a movie or
movies?
Did Oz come into your life at any point prior to me?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your sort of early memory of anything?
Watching the movies,
the original.
Of course.
Okay.
The first and the second one. I think the second one, I was, I don't know, probably 8 or 9, and I think I was scared of it.
Sure.
Like, the Wheelers and like turning to stone and the queen that stole your head. As an 8-year-old, that's kind of creepy, right? Sure. But I mean, this is around the same time as like the Never-Ending Story,
exactly.
and Gremlins, and it was just kind of par for the course that you got traumatized in the 80s watching these things. I did read. I think I got. You remember when Barnes and Noble, or was it Borders, that re-released all the classics in like the gilded cover? Yes. Yeah. It was like they redid everything just in a fancy package, and we all bought it again.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got an Alice in Wonderland for that, but not an Oz. I didn't get Oz. So that's kind of my background. Really, not much in Oz. I read Wicked, but I don't feel like that's the same.
Well, but I mean it's Oz. It qualifies.
It's in the universe.
Yeah, but I don't consider it's not, it's Frank Baum, right?
Well, Wicked.
Gregory Maguire had to base it on Baum. Mm-hmm. So I feel like,
it's a prequel to Baum. It's a prequel to Baum, there is like the official canon, which is like Baum to Ruth Plumley Thompson, and on and on and on and on. Yeah. The royal historians of Oz. There is that canon line, which Wicked is not a part of,
right.
Technically, but it's sort of like my book. It's just sort of an interpretation of some aspect of it. And people either are like yes or no. Like they a lot of people were like, no, Oz great and powerful. This is we don't care about this movie. But other stuff they did like. So it's all Oz to me. It's all Oz. It's just a matter of what is it to you? What is this portion of Oz to you? Because there are people who do like the Oz Great and Powerful. There are people who did like the Emerald City TV show and things like that.
And the Wiz. I remember watching
the Wiz is another one. Yeah, that's a very like yes or no thing for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's the movie, and then there's the original stage show, which are different things too. So
very
I've seen both of those because my aunt was in it. She got to play Dorothy.
Your aunt was Wiz?
She was Dorothy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
in
crazy.
The stage production. It was a high school production, guys.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Right. It wasn't like Broadway, but yeah, I remember going to see the theatrical version of The Wiz. Yeah. Because she was in it. She was really great too. But yeah, so I would say a precursor, like not really a deep level of reading into that, but it's always been something that's kind of been on my bucket list. But Tom knows I don't have time to do all the things I want to do, including see movies.
But then if Alice in Wonderland is your jam, then that was perfect for what I gave you to do.
Yes.
Completely unintentionally, because this is all new information to me. I was just like, look, I need people to do Oz stories. This is what we're doing. Do you want to do this? And she said, what was your response? Say less.
Say less.
Just say less.
Just set me up. I don't care. He was like, I'll pay you. I'm like, great. Move on. I was like, what are we doing? But yeah, Alice in Wonderland was definitely my jam for sure. I read it, and it's like more into that lore and through the looking glass and all the riddles and chess pieces and how that's been used multiple times in modern media. I think it's been really a lot of fun. So it was kind of like a shoe-in where it was like, oh yeah, you want to do this and we're going to cross over at that. Yeah. Say less.
So let's let people see what the heck we're talking about here. this is the cover for the BD14 anthology. This came out last year. This has become a thing that we started doing in the last couple of years. We did one when we turned 13, we made the BD13 anthology. I thought it would be just a fun little goof on like the PG-13 ratings that they did for movies. And people were like, "You gonna do another one?" I was like, I don't know. Would you want another one? Like what? Yeah, give us another one. So we did 14 last year. Each one has different characters from different books that we do. And you can see here we have on the left is our superhero Blue Jay. Middle front is the steampunk version of Critter. And then on the far right, we've got Allison and Beauregard, who is the rabbit dude over there. And we'll talk about Beauregard's origins here in a little bit too. But yeah, that was the story that I gave Laurie. I was like, this is what we want to do. This is kind of the concept that I want to throw at you and bring to the fans. And let's go. So there's all the covers and all that kind of stuff. And so the story is basically, we just call it Allison's Wonderland. That's the name of the bar, as it turns out, is Wonderland. And it begins, for those that know this story, it begins at the beginning. We go back to the beginning of our Oz. The witch is still alive, obviously. This is right after, the story takes place right after the monkey fight, and when the Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Dorothy all take off on the journey, and the witch shows up wanting to know what in the world is going on. So that is where it takes place as far as our continuity. I'll let you talk about a little bit about how you put all this together and the process. Yeah, because you wrote it. I helped, but you wrote it. You know, you can just talk about your process and what you wanted to do with it.
Yeah, I'm very interested in that.
Gosh. Well, first off, Tom was like, by the way, have you read any of my Legend of Oz? And I was like, no.
Nope.
So he sent me like just volume after volume after volume after volume, because I wanted to understand, the world and the characters. And so I dove in, into the deep end, into Legend of Oz, and read a ton of it. Because it was one thing that we had talked about with the rabbits, which was really interesting, because there's, what did they call them? Long-eared
hearers.
Well, the long-eared hearer is the Gnome King's
right.
It's his
helper,
sidekick kind of thing.
Yeah. But so for me, when I discovered the long-eared hearer, and I was trying to figure, because I was writing the Gnome King story, and I was like, okay, who is this long-eared hearer guy? Like, there's like very little information about him. So I started to do what I do in my Western world and start to remix some of this stuff. And so there's a place in Oz called Bunnybury where they have rabbit folk. And I thought to myself, oh, that's a long-eared hearer right there. It's this guy. And so I turned the long-eared hearer into this rabbit guy. We'll go back up to the top here. This little rabbit dude over there on the right. That's the Gnome King's, sort of assistant buddy, long ears, long-eared hearer. And so we got this rabbit dude. But without jumping too far ahead, I also had ulterior motives with that sort of creation, which I think everybody's already figured out.
Have they?
Yeah.
I was like, how much do you want me to spoil here? Because when we were talking about the concept, it's very much into what is happening at this bar, right? Hi, Colleen. And the bunnies were kind of key to the story. It's how, Alice in Wonderland has rabbits, the white rabbit, and now Oz has rabbits. And it's like, what if these bunnies have been going back and forth? How are they doing that? And then, of course, with the ruby bullets, ripping through the fabric of reality and then going to different places with these bullets. And it's like, what if there was one from the past and they're trying to hide it? So that's what this bar really is.
That's our show. We'll see you all next week.
Good night.
Nothing else to see here.
Come on. It was just like, but how do you get there? How do you get there? And in only 10 pages. And so before Tom like I'm writing 24-page issues in this big, long arcing story. Path of the Pale Rider is 36 issues. So I have, a long time to tell this story and develop characters and get to know them. And so I had 10 pages where I had to figure out how to introduce Allison, show her motive, interact with characters that already exist in this world. And so it was just like fitting puzzle pieces together. And when I had this idea, it was just like, okay, so we have to hide this, but how do we hide it in plain sight? Like it's in this place, but it's not obvious what it is.
And then when
you're gonna spill the beans on me?
And then when she turns the first script in,
as
it turns out, she gave me 1,000 puzzle pieces for a puzzle that should have had 100 pieces.
Yeah. Well, I was really excited, first of all. And then I turned it in and Tom waited like 3 weeks to respond to me. And I was like, he hates it.
Shame.
I was talking to Carissa. I was like, that's it. Like he thinks I'm the worst writer on the planet. Like he's not gonna, whatever. I'm just gonna go crawl under a rock. Right. And so it was great though, because this was really my first time walking around in someone else's world with their characters and trying to write from the perspective of, Tom's characters. Right. And so it took some fine tuning. And Tom was great. And he was just like, hey, maybe we pull back this, or, we don't hit him with the sledgehammer from the first page. And I was like, man, okay.
Yeah, this is not the slice and dice Pikachu episode.
With my sledgehammer. Right.
Yeah.
And so it slowly came into shape. And, Tom's feedback was really great because it became something really, really great. Crossing Worlds doing, for sure. So it's not even just that. It's not just the mashup, but it's someone else's series that I stepped into.
Right.
And so like, I don't really let people walk around in my world. That's my world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like that's your baby.
Yeah. When someone's like, hey, can I write Path of the Pale Rider? No. You can't. So, you know what I mean? So this was really a great experience, and it was a challenge, and it was great. It was great working back and forth just to, fine tune it and to become something spectacular is what it is. And so like, I was like, okay, how can we put the key somewhere obvious? And so her kicking this table over was like first thing that she does. And that's, funny, so important for the end.
Funny note here is, Gat Melvin did the colors on this book, and you can see in that first panel with the pictures in the background, like the horses. He turned this page in, and it had pictures from the comic book, from Oz comic book, in those frames. And I was like, no, we can't. We're not. Dorothy is not going to have a picture on the side of this. It doesn't make any sense. And he was like, oh, okay, what do you want to do? I was like, we need just Western things in here. And he was like, oh, okay, no problem. So he swapped out that stuff for the horses. But it was really funny to just like look at that panel and be like, she was here for 8 minutes and fought a monkey, and she's already got a plaque on the wall.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty badass. But I feel like the timing was a little tight.
That's kind of how it was. Like she was here. She killed a witch. Let's throw a parade. Like
right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I like I said, she gave us 1,000 pieces. We needed 100 of them. Yeah. It was like every panel somewhere there was something. There was innuendo somewhere in the dialogue. There was some sort of visual cue of like this or this, and I was like,
he's like, bring it back, like half of it. Do like half.
Yeah. Say less. Say less.
Say less. Like let's get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this, and whittle down. But the chess set has to stay.
The chess set's great. That was you. You had the chess set. I was like, I'm all about the chess set. This is brilliant. I love this concept. But what was great was she was willing to let me whittle it down. She wasn't ever like, no, I got the thing. Like, I was just like, let's whittle it. We'll find it. Keep whittling. And, and we got what we got, which I think is really great.
But that's really what the creative process.
I dress up for the right people, JD. I dress up for the right people.
Hey, JD. I just
So
won
yeah,
my
so
56 shirt the other day. Speaking of,
so we whittled and we found, you know, what I think was what we needed. Because that's what you have to do first. You have to find what you need. And then once you find what you need, you can kind of pad it a little bit, you know, with like, okay, this is what we need, but what do we want? And then you add a little bit more back in, which, you know, she did a great job of that. And
Laurie, did you find it difficult at all because this is an existing series? Like you want to be you, but you also want to have, like, it kind of needs to be one voice. Yes. So did you find it difficult to be like, okay, I'm writing something, but I also still want it to sound like it's Tom?
Yes and no. Like, I'm right there with you, where it's like I want it to be a story that came out of my brain, but I still want it to be told through the lens of what these characters already are and the world that's created. And so, yeah, it was challenged. It was a challenge. That's why it was so important for me to read the material so I understood the characters. And even then, it was like with the witch, I had her saying things, and Tom was like, she's more this, less of that. And so I'd have to fine tune her there.
Okay.
And so that's, I think, you know, the two of us together fine tuning the story really made it what it is, that it's able to stand alone in that series and then is a stepping off point for what comes next. Whoever writes that one. Just saying. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna write it. Shut up. But yeah, it is a challenge to do that. But I like flexing that creative muscle. I feel a lot of times writers, just like actors, get typecast. My series is a little bit of Western, a little bit of horror, some really lofty existentialism, all wrapped up in a zombie genre, right? And so a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, it's zombies, you write horror. And so I get a lot of offers to write horror, but I'm like, I can do other things. And I have since, you know, doing this one. I've written for Travis Gibbs. We did Cthulhu in Fairyland. And then again for Terry Parr. Gemini Force is way different than anything else that I've written. Oh, Nei, hi. So, but I enjoy it. I like, give me a challenge, right? I want to write time travel ballerina saves the world. I don't know. It just, let's do it.
I'm ready to cosplay that too. Thanks.
Laurie, you want to grab that book real quick and show it? Whoops, I clicked the wrong button.
Wrong button.
That's Nei's cover right there. Nei Arfino, she's hanging out with us in the chat. That was the cover that she did for us.
It's beautiful.
It's fantastic.
I had to have it.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Tom was like, you can get the original cover with all the characters. I was like, no. Have you seen this cover? I was like,
yeah.
I was like, this is the cover I need. And I am really looking forward to the Legend of Oz. You're doing like a hardcover, right?
The omnibus.
The omnibus, yeah.
I need to have that, please.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets interesting.
Yes.
This is Mr. Beauregard, as we talked about earlier. This is where we sort of connected, because again, this is a beginning and an ending, not an ending, but a current connection. So Beauregard was introduced much further down the line. He is the Gnome King's little partner. And so he is a big character in the current part of the storyline. But this is where we get to kind of put it all together, put some of these pieces together here. So Beauregard is in the story as is written here. Beauregard is a guy who's kind of been through this bar a few times. During the bar fight, we learned that he just kind of went upstairs, got out of the way, but he left his cane. Allison's found it and realized that he's here. And so she calls him out, and they have a little get together as they're cleaning the place up, looking for, you know, the pieces of the chessboard, and you know, just again giving some details, giving some thoughts, giving some more, you know, meat on the bone of the story about what it is we're doing here. There's the Queen of Hearts. That's a Laurie thing.
Yeah.
We have the Queen of Hearts.
I definitely noticed that. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I put a lot of innuendo into this conversation. So as she's saying things and she's putting down cards, there's meaning. And I love it because it was like, you see Allison in the beginning, kind of like she's sympathetic to the bartender. That's her, that's her friend. That's her employee. But now she's snarky with him because she knows he's holding out. And she knows he knows something, but maybe he doesn't know the whole story. And it's enough to be dangerous. And so she's playing cards with him. She's playing a game with him to try and get him to tell the truth. So this was a lot of fun to write, this part.
Yeah. And I kind of interpreted it, on my own here as Allison is, she's someone who can sort of become who she needs to be in a situation. So, the witch is there. That's going to take a specific type of sort of orientation to deal with the Witch of the West. Beauregard, he requires a different sort of I need to come, find a different sort of aura for myself to deal with Beauregard and so on. But she can do that. She can kind of play whatever side she needs to play, which I thought was really great. So, yeah.
And what a jerk. He took the one piece and then he went upstairs with it. Only to pretend I don't know what's going on. She's like, you idiot. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're meddling with.
And then we move our way into the back room of the building. Again, this was just filled with nonsense. Put horses in the frames, got, something. And he was like, okay. And then, of course, we wrap it up and we find this little unique painting in the back room. And we'll leave it at that.
So she has the queen, the red queen, and she also has a poker card with the Jabberwocky on it. And what she says is telling. I would like to leave you with that last little inkling of what? Yeah. But you have to take it all in. You have to not only read the words, you have to look at what she's doing because she's telling you more things with what she's holding in her hands. Mm-hmm. So the whole page I thought was really well put together. And that just tells you what's coming. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun.
So there it is, guys. There it is.
Very well done.
Thank you.
It's a great job. If you don't have this book, you can get it. If you don't have that cover that Nei made, you can get it, but I don't have a lot left. We actually sold out of what I brought to Austravaganza. Every copy of that cover went out the door and they were gone. So it's a very popular cover. It sold very well on the Kickstarter. So I don't have a lot of them left, y'all. But if you want one, you can get a hold of me and we'll make sure that you can get either just the regular copy or the variant covers. We'll do a quick scroll through here. The other two stories that we have in the book, just so you get a sense of it, is the Clockwork Kitten, which is our steampunk version of Critter, which is also Nei Rufino's colors on this book. As the steampunk Critter kind of finds herself in a place that she's not used to. It's a super fun little story. This is the story that I wrote, the Critter story. And then we have the first appearance of Pincher, our dog characters. And
this made me laugh. I always read into Tom's stories and I always send him like a little picture and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, when we were on your show a couple of weeks ago for Penny for Your Soul, your reactions to everything that we saw, you were just busting. And I was like, your reactions are all perfect. Like, this is exactly what I want. So yeah, it was great. And then we have Blue Jay. This is our other superhero character who is a sort of social media star or wannabe social media star. She's figured out that, hey, if I become a superhero, I can use that to become famous, through the internet. And so we've got her doing her TikTok thing, superhero TikTok thing. This is done by Barry Dutter, who's an old Marvel writer, by the way. Barry Dutter, he's done tons of like Spider-Man stuff. He just all kinds of Marvel stuff in like the 80s and 90s. And it's drawn by Chow Mahato and Chris Chua, who do the Princesses versus Zombies book for us. So that's who did the art. So those are the 3 stories that you get in the book, in addition to, just getting this.
And I won't spoil those for you. Sorry. You should totally clip that section and then just bleep out everything I said and be like, that's it. That's the show.
That's it. The show is over. You don't get to know anything else. Yeah. So very, very fun. It was great to have you on board with the book. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And
yeah, I had a blast. And like I said, and now I'm hooked on Legend of Oz because you gave me so much of it, and I really dove deep, and I was consuming it. I was just like, it kept going and going and going. I was like, how long is this sucker? And I got to the end. He's like, oh, here's another one. And I was like, are you kidding me? So it goes on forever, which is amazing. And
6 volumes. We got 6 volumes. I didn't even send you the Scarecrow and the TikTok series.
What I mean? That's what I'm saying. But I mean, it really did help me understand the world, and then to be able to write in that world. So I was eating it up just so I could start, because I didn't want to start until I understood the confines of what I was working in. So.
And for those that don't know, this is the teaser for the omnibus. This will be the first 4 volumes of Oz, of our Oz, the Wicked West. It's going to come in somewhere around 500 pages.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's stupid. It's going to be big.
I love it so much.
It's going to be a little oversized as well. So normal comic is like 10 by 6.5 ish. It's going to be 11 by 7. So it's going to be a little bit bigger as well. There's going to be a hardcover edition. There'll be a trade paperback edition as well. And right in the middle there, that is the teaser for the Nia Ruffino cover that she has done specifically for this book. And it's crazy. It's just over the top, crazy, amazing, beautiful. And we'll be showing you a little bit more of that soon. That'll be launching like maybe the 3rd weekend of August, something like that. 2nd to 3rd weekend of August, we'll be doing that. It'll be part of our book fair that we did last year, our big book fair. But this year we're going to the book fair will focus on Oz primarily this year for the omnibus, for some back issues and stuff like that. You'll still be able to get all the other books that we do too, but the main focus this year will be the omnibus. So
I might need to do a dust jacket. I'm sorry, go ahead, Allison.
No, I just said I'm so excited.
I want to do a dust jacket. I like to rebind books, but I also don't want to rip the cover off of Nia Ruffino covers. That's probably sacrilegious.
Yes, correct.
Yes,
so I'll have to do a dust jacket so I could put it over it and keep it intact.
So real quick before we keep going here, do you need to get out of here at 9? Because that's what you normally need to
like
do.
10 more minutes.
Yeah, so you need to get out here at 9. Well, 8 for you, 9 for us. So real quick before we kind of continue here with some other things. What the hell? I lost
I knew this was gonna happen.
I lost this thing. Somehow it got.
It's in the private chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it again, but I had it open and I don't know where it went. We're gonna really quickly here show you guys the landing page, and then I'll also post the link for this in the chat and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna show you the landing page here. Laurie's Path of the Pale Rider that we've talked a little bit about here. When are you launching this?
July 18th. So like a couple weeks
coming up.
Yeah, we're on. I'm not as far into my story as Tom is, because he's older than I am. Because he's old. Just kidding. Don't boot me off. I started late. I started in my 40s on this, so it's like I didn't start when I was young. So we're on issue 7. Out of, like I said, we got like multiple arcs to go. So the first arc is 12. We are more than halfway done with this first arc, And there's a lot of really good stuff here.
I'm so tired of your videos.
Sorry.
Awesome.
But it just gives you an idea of some of the interiors. And like, again, there's Big James in the flesh, the disgruntled bear who is our unofficial mascot. But number 7 is a really big issue in the first arc. It's a game changer. And people, I have let people read a portion of the script. I let about just a handful, 5 people read a portion of the script and then give a reaction to what they read, and they're blown away. There's a video on my YouTube if people want to see what the reaction is to what's coming. And so, but you can sign up for pre-launch here. Cool. All you gotta do is click that black bar and it'll notify you when we launch. I like to do fun things, a lot of exclusives, short run items. Like I have really cute, he's away. I have these, we have an undead puppy called Sad Pancake. And now I don't have.
Oh, I thought you had something.
No. Wait, I might. Is it over here? Yeah.
Okay. Sad Pancake.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you guys understand, in this world, death is broken. And so we have undead, but they're not flesh craving zombies. They are people whose soul didn't leave when they died. Okay. So it's you, your neighbor, your mom, and as they decay, they lose their humanity because it's like going through dementia and fast forward with the added horror of your body is decaying, right? There is no death. There's no bullet to the brain. There's no escape. And so that's what makes it really interesting because it's people, animals, insects, and fish. It creates a very difficult place to survive in. And our cowboy is like the last guy still looking for the answer of what happened to death. And so we have this little puppy named Sad Pancake. Yes. And he's a nice puppy. He's not trying to eat anybody like Big James. But I will have 4 of these tiny little minis available on the campaign.
Oh my gosh.
I rebind books. So there'll be a single rebound book. This is my trade paperback for the first 4. So I rebind things. I think it's a lot of fun. So I rebind novels and stuff as well. But like, see, this is my book on the inside. It's pretty cool. So I'll have 1 of those available. I do ceramics. So there is a ceramic mug.
You do everything.
I do a little bit of everything. And then I even do food items. So I make hot sauce from scratch. And so there's
Stop. I need some of that.
It's really good. I have 5 flavors that I'm working on right now. So we've like a barbecue ghost pepper, mango habanero. I have a jackfruit habanero. What's the other 2? I have a green sauce. It's mild. It's a jalapeno serrano. And then I have a super hot one that's Carolina Reaper and red pepper. So
oh my gosh.
The Kickstarters are wild. They're a little bit of everything. But the book is the core. The book is where it's at. And so you can get the book, but you can also, have an experience with it as well. We have a choose your own adventure book based in the same world that you can get as an add-on. We got all sorts of stuff. So if anything, just, click the link to be notified and just go check us out when we launch because there's a lot of fun stuff. And yes, we will do a slice and dice when we break that stretch goal. We've broken it every time since I think campaign number, 3. So we're slicing and dicing. Last time was a watermelon again. Yeah. And a bat saw. So it's a baseball bat with a circular saw attached to it.
Okay.
I didn't build it. Someone else did. But yeah.
I love it. Fun. I love the variety.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, but that's who I am. I'm a hodgepodge of random things.
And this is why she doesn't. This is why she doesn't see any movies because she's too busy rebinding and making hot sauce and ceramicing and yeah.
I have a stretch goal, Tom, where you can. I'll send you some coffee beans that I roast. I roast coffee beans. So you can brew your coffee and come to the Tuesday morning brew and have a cup of coffee with me. So hey Ray, how are you?
There should be a stretch goal that's just like send Laurie to a movie. Like, you know.
Yeah. It's like for a podcast, they have a link that says buy us a coffee. There you go. We can do one that says
buy me a movie ticket.
Yeah.
I like
the
that.
last movie I saw was nah.
Yeah, wasn't it The Last Rodeo? Is that the last movie you saw?
Rodeo. No, we just went and saw 28 Years Later. It's a
that's recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's way I don't know what the last movie was, so
no,
you're doing better than I am.
See, Tom, everybody's busy. We are adults. Just kidding. Tom's an adult too.
Oh, Wicked.
Sometimes.
Wicked was the last one that I saw.
Oh yeah.
So
I did not see Wicked.
November.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think the last movie I saw before, I can't even remember what it was before then. Nothing good, I'm sure. I'm kind of jaded.
I think it's very telling when you can't remember, right? Like
too busy.
It didn't stick with me, so it couldn't have been that good.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you saw this movie called The Last Rodeo, and the fact that you don't remember is
The Last Rodeo.
Yeah, I think it's called The Last Rodeo. It was about 3 or 4 months ago, and it was very sort of off the cuff. You were like, "Oh yeah, my husband and I went and saw The Last Rodeo."
It was like the Christian apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the name of it, but yeah, we saw that.
Whatever that is, yeah.
Whatever that movie was. It was so random. My husband was like, it's an apocalypse kind of movie. You would like it. It was like around Christmas. See?
Oh, was it that far away?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Much further away. Yeah. All right. Okay.
And we did see the Thunderbolts because we took the kids, but that was.
Yeah, we went and saw Ozland. That was our last movie.
Yes, we did see them. Okay.
Yeah, Laurie, there's a movie called Ozland. That's really interesting. It's going to be hard to find. I think it might be like you might be able to rent it on Amazon.
It's on Prime. You can rent it on Prime.
Okay, you can rent it on Prime.
I thought that was wasn't there a prison series called
$3.99?
No, that's just called Oz. Yeah, but
I thought it was like that though. So that's why I was like,
Ozland is again, you like the
post-apocalyptic.
It's post-apocalyptic, but sort of.
But it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's not like there's no zombies. There's no. It's not like jump scare or anything. Yeah. It's just
it's about
there's
two guys
wandering around looking for any other people.
Right, and one of them finds the Wizard of Oz book, like the novel, and sort of starts to read it. And throughout the course of the movie, he starts to believe that it's a true story.
Yes. Oh, no. He thinks it's historical rather than fictional.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. And then as they're going through,
that's how, but that's not so weird because that's how Baum wrote it.
I mean,
he wrote it. He claimed to be the royal historian of Oz. So he was just getting these stories from Dorothy and documenting everything. So I love that Michael kind of did that a little bit because it's not so strange.
And I mean, in the apocalypse, anything could happen.
Yeah, well,
right.
And so they were, it kind of insinuates that they didn't really know what happened and maybe were a little bit younger. So, it'd be easy to just kind of believe whatever.
Well, I'll add it to the list. I'll put it on the list of movies that I should probably see and don't have time to see, but maybe at some point when I'm scrolling, like I gotta be sick.
At least this one you don't have to leave the house for.
I love that. I love streaming,
right?
But still, like,
yeah.
When I come down there for the Texas Con in October, I'll bring you the Blu-ray. I'll drop it off and I'll pick it up on my way back.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Yes.
He's like, here's your homework. We'll eat some pancakes.
Check this out.
Talk to the kids about driving tanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you on the way back.
Correct. All accurate. Yes. All right.
Sounds good to me.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Allison, I would love to host you on the Tuesday Morning Brew so I can ask you 4,000 questions. Just saying.
Okay. I mean,
it's a fun show, right, Tom?
You can ask her.
Do I have a lot to talk about?
Yeah, because you know all about the Wicked West comic book. You know all about the inspiration for it, all the books. You run the museum up there in New York. So yeah, no, you're a legit guest, ready to go.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I could talk for 2 hours easy. I'm sure I could talk to Tom for 2 hours. I could talk to you for 2 hours.
Yeah, for sure. So listen, like I said,
talk
next
about
year,
our random adventures.
Very random.
Hot sauce. We could talk about hot sauce for 2 hours. I would be happy.
You could do that
too. we will work it out, Laurie, that at minimum, when I do a show with you next year for the Oz books, we'll get Allison on.
Yes.
At minimum, we'll get her on with us on one of the shows.
Okay.
And then if she wants to do her own at some point, we can, let that happen too.
Yeah.
But at minimum, we'll do it together.
Perfect. That's good. Because then if you want, you guys can tag team, answering questions too. That's always
Judy says, be a guest.
Be a guest. That's right.
Peer pressure.
I appreciate it. And thank you again for everybody in the chat. Ron, nice to meet you virtually as well. And everybody, Judith and Niai, lovely to see you. So thanks again for having me on the show. I hope you all come and check out Path of the Pale Rider if you liked Allison's Wonderland. I know it's slightly different, but you will still like Path of the Pale Rider. It's still me writing it. Maybe I'll let Tom do some editing, maybe. Nah, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I have an editor. She would tell me. She'd be like, you did what? That's editor.
You're going to let me write a Big James one shot. That's what's going to happen.
No. I already wrote it. Okay, maybe I'll let you talk me into it. Mm-hmm. Wasn't I going to do a random stretch goal that was like Tom's? What cover were you never going to do that I was like, I'm going to put it on my stretch goals?
Oh, you were going to do it. No, you were going to do a bootleg BDI cover.
That's it. Yeah.
Totally or not a cover. You were going to do a bootleg bookmark.
Yeah.
Because I never do bookmarks.
Because Tom never does bookmarks.
Yeah. So
I usually don't either. I just think it's funny to have a BDI bookmark because if you want it, you'll have to come to my campaign to get it. Tom's not gonna.
Just make it an Oz one. Yeah, make it an Oz one because then it ties into your Western stuff. And then there you go.
There we go. You'll have to tune in to see if I'm crazy enough to do it.
I love these collaborative efforts.
All right, for real, I'm going to go this time. I'm good at the Midwestern goodbye. Adieu. Thank you for having me. I will see you all later.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, have fun.
So there she goes. So you just read that book today, right?
Yeah. Well, I've had it just sitting and waiting for me.
Sure.
On my counter.
That happens.
And I look at it literally every day. I'm like, oh, look at her. She's so cute. And it's such a great cover. But yeah, it's one of those things that I just have not done. So I picked it up today and so good. So good. Yeah. And I feel like it's very seamless. I think it can be really easy when you have guest writers to be obvious that it's a completely different voice. So I feel like she did a good job.
Yeah, I think the only thing to that point would be is that when we did finish it and it was done, I did tell her, like, I'm going to polish a couple of dialogue points here to kind of make it a little more The Witch, a little more just in line. And she was like, yeah, go right ahead. I mean, I didn't change any of the goals of the dialogue or anything, just sort of like, how do they talk? How do they say a word? And that kind of thing.
You didn't change the meat of it. It was just
correct. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, go do it. Good. And it came out great. So I always, and I tell you this all the time, whenever I write Oz stuff, I'm always, when I get to points, I'm always like, what's Allison going to say about this? Is she going to like this part? Like, does this ending work? Does this make sense within the scope of, what we understand as Oz and Baum's universe and whatever? I'm always thinking like, is Allison going to like that? And so there was a little bit of that too, in this, and the other part of the seamless part, right? It's not just so that it sort of sounds right. The other seamless part was making it fit with the aspects that we already had. We already knew that what the witch did when she came to town to some capacity, but we had to now expand that role a little bit. And so there was a lot of back and forth of like, what do we do with her? Where do we send her? What is she going to do? And we really had to, it's sort of like when they make stuff like Rogue One to Star Wars, right? You know where you have to go,
right?
And you have to get to this point. So you have to work really hard to kind of make it really integrate properly. So it doesn't feel like, oh, they just like slapped this together and they didn't care about where it is supposed to go. They were just in that moment and told that bit, and then it doesn't connect right. So she was great with again, sort of letting me whittle it. Like, let's really look at how to place these characters. And I think it worked great.
Yeah, I loved it. Awesome. So little though makes you want more. That's sure.
That's part of that whole thing. You're supposed to want a little bit more.
Little teaser.
Yeah. Speaking of teasers,
so
normally, guys, we do our little "Does the Museum Have It" segment. We're not going to do that exactly today, but I do have something else that we're going to wrap up the show with. But as far as the teasers go, I do have something that we're going to drop on you right here. So one of the things that I've been doing to kind of get myself back in the writing mindset and creative mode, since I've had to deal with my mom's passing and I just have been unable to do anything. I've been working on this book that has been named by our friend Freddie Hernandez, the BDI Index, which is basically a who's who of all of our characters. And it's going to be created in a way that it's alphabetical. So we take all of our characters, line them up alphabetically, and then each book is a portion of those characters all the way down the line. So the first book, it begins and ends with Critter, as it turns out. The first book is a character named 9-Volt, who is a superhero from Critter. And then the last page of the book is Critter herself. But along the way, within the alphabetical run, somebody that we know shows up. And it is the Cowardly Lion. This is art done by Jen Broomall, who is one of our early artists. She did a lot of design work for us. She did tons of covers for us. She hasn't done anything for so long, and I was like, I need you in this book. You are an important part of our history. I need you in this book. And I was like, you can do the Cowardly Lion. You'll kill it. And she did it. This is the Cowardly Lion, Elenia DiNapoli on the colors. A little story panel down in the bottom by Allison Borges, who did the series, of course. And then, the history of the Cowardly Lion. So this is what the book will look like, page to page. Again, it'll be alphabetical. So it'll be basically A to C, and then issue 2 will be C to wherever we end up, and so on and so on and so on down the line. So, yeah.
So I have an idea that I think that you should do with this after it's all done.
Mm-hmm.
Based upon everything that's already there,
mm-hmm.
I think you need to tweak it, and then you can make all of this role playing. You can give them stats for
100%,
because it's like it's already right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you could role play BDI, and it would be so much fun.
There you go. That's what happens when Allison and I get together. Camp Counselor Allison better be in issue 1.
No. Nobody needs to know my height, weight, eyes, all of that. We'll just skip all that.
That's funny. That's funny. Well done, Freddie. Well done, Freddie. So there's your teaser, guys. This will be part of the BD 15 anthology. Yes, the BD 15 anthology, which will be kind of almost our wrap up for the 15-year anniversary for the company this year, in October. So we'll have that book. and this book available on the same campaign, with a few different variant covers that are in the process of being worked on right now. So so it'll be very cool. Be very, very cool.
I'm
so
pumped.
bloop. Yeah, so am I. It's really come out great. So it was going to be 32 pages. Then I actually found some characters that I forgot. And it has expanded now to 36 pages. Because I had to get them in. So it'll be 36 pages. It'll be 36 different artists. Nobody got to double up. Everyone is a different artist.
That's awesome.
A number of different colorists. There's like 6 or 7 different colorists involved in the whole thing. And then I wrote all of the information, which was kind of mind-numbing at points. But it really worked and helped me sort of like reignite the pilot light for, like, okay, who are these characters? Well, I need to get back to them. Let me get the juices flowing again.
Yeah. Well, didn't you, for some of your stuff, didn't you kind of consult the Who's Who in Oz book?
For Oz, yeah. For Oz, I used that.
You're essentially making your own.
Yes.
Which is so fun.
100%. Yeah. I use the Who's Who in Oz book is great because it is just littered with just everything from the books, stuff that you're just like, what is that? And so it's been a fantastic resource. And so now we get to kind of reverse engineer and make our own. So it should be fun.
Woo.
I am excited to get that thing out.
There's so many things that I will be getting now. Thanks a lot. Jeez.
Gee, thanks, man. So let's dive into this. So instead of asking if the museum has it, because you're not going to have any of this. Well, no, false. That's false. You do have some of this. I do know for a fact you do have some of this, but a lot of this is very obscure too. So the odds of you actually having, if you do have it, please tell me, because I'd be very interested. But a lot of it is very off the wall. All right. What I did was I went diving for Wizard of Oz comic book stuff that exists in the world. And so I've got a whole bunch of things that maybe you've seen, maybe you haven't, but we'll just talk a little bit about some of this. I know a little bit about. Others I'm like, I don't know what this is, but we'll start with something that I know you guys do have.
Yes.
Which is the and as I didn't even know that this was an actual adaptation of the movie. I had no idea it was a movie adaptation. I thought it was just them making their own sort of Wizard of Oz thing. But then as I saw that, I also found the credits page and I was like, oh, this is actually legit cool. Yeah. Because I've never seen this before. And like you always say on your tour, this is Marvel and DC.
Marvel combining. And DC. They're very first together.
Yeah. Really interesting.
Because Oz brings everyone together.
Does it?
It does.
Okay. I mean, it brought the two heavy hitters together, so that's definitely interesting, without question. But yeah, when I saw this credits page, I was like fully like, oh, I need this book now, because I had no idea what it legitimately was, and this looks great.
And In Memory of Judy, like, come on, that's
pretty good.
Now, I have this one.
Mm-hmm.
I do have this one. I don't have the second one.
Yeah, the second one, I didn't grab a picture of that, but it was like Ozma. It's an
Ozma's 3.
Ozma's 3. Oh, geez.
Ozma's 3, which never came out.
I saw a picture of it.
Yes, you will see pictures of what it was supposed to be, but it never came out. Because, they ran into some copyright issues.
Oh. This says, hold on, let me look at this. The Marvelous Ozma of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
But this says, hold on a second.
I'm holding.
Colored for this. The really depressing thing about this is that the entire issue was already written and drawn. It just needed letters and coloring before Marvel pulled the plug due to a combination of low sales on the first 2 books as well as copyright issues with the source material. Wow. Crazy.
I love that you doubted me.
I didn't doubt you. It was just something that I was like, I want the information. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I saw the cover, I was like, how could it not exist? It's right there. That's really interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Really interesting.
So I actually had a woman come into the museum not that long ago who said their partner, or now I can't remember because it has been a little while. I can't remember if it was them or if it was their partner had actually worked on it and had some of the sketches and asked if we wanted it. And I said, absolutely we do.
Oh, yeah.
But I have not gotten a follow-up on it. So I'm like, please send us comic book pages. That would be
incredible. That would be
so
cool. Crazy
so cool.
Incredible. All right. So next one, this is actually a book that I do have. I just found this in a collection not too long ago. It is a really bad adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, but it's made for kids. Like, it's called Classics Illustrated Junior. It is for
that one should be
kids.
on display right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great cover. It's just not so much.
It is a great cover
on the insides.
Okay.
But again, it's very for kids. That's why it's the Classics Illustrated Junior. So
yes, I mean, look at how sweet the lion looks. He's so happy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look scared at all.
Then we have, this is something I've never seen before. Vintage comics. And this is Classic Comic and Art Gallery. Now, the description that I got on this is that this is basically I don't know how they put it together, but it's using John R. Neal's art in a comic book form. So this is a really interesting thing that I would love to kind of find and put together. And this says it was done in 1956. 56? Classic comic? I mean, this is a really weird one.
I'm very confused by that font because it, sort of insinuates it's like, I feel like that's normally used for like a horror type of comic.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. I don't
know that I've seen that one.
I'm gonna have to go do a little looking, see what more I can find on that. But
yes, absolutely.
Very interesting. I mean, it could be what I'm thinking that it could be is, since it was a 1956 comic in some capacity, I'm wondering if this book itself, the vintage comics thing, is actually a modern reprinting of it. And that's why it has a more modern sort of logo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my sense. I'm betting that there is a 56 comic that is different from this, and that this is a modern reprint. That would be my guess. That would be my educated guess.
I'm gonna have to study on this one.
Yeah. So something for everybody to look up. Then we found, I don't know what this is.
Yes, Osmopolitan.
Okay, so you know what this is. Tell me what it is.
That is basically like a magazine that's published.
So it's like the Bomb Bugle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially. This one, though, the one that I saw, this is more compilation. Like, this one's thicker.
Okay.
Than just like the standard one. Oh my gosh, what year is this one though?
I don't know.
I swear I was just holding a copy of this like the other day.
Yeah, that's something I've not seen before.
It's basically like the Bomb Bugle, that it's got, some of the Oz news. Illustrated by Dick Martin.
Then we're going golden age here, guys. Actually, 15 cents. That's Silver Age. Tales of the Wizard of Oz from Dell Comics. This is really bizarre.
Based on the TV adventures.
Really bizarre. I've never seen this before in my life.
You didn't see the animation?
Never have seen this before. Never.
Oh.
This is totally new to me. Are those supposed to be munchkins?
Yeah, you're gonna. I guess
all the little guys are supposed to be.
So
munchkins?
this is. I'm gonna be honest. This is something that I have not watched. It's on my list of to be watched because I wanted to document it as I watched it.
Yep.
But yeah, this is what 60.
Oh, 60s, yeah.
60 what? 60.
I don't know, but definitely 60s.
68. I think you're gonna have to Google it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's around when it is. The animated by I'll think of it. Somebody's gonna end up telling me on here. Rankin and Bass?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yep. All right.
Like they're one, animated.
That makes a lot of sense. When you say that, I can see that in the animation. Then there's this thing that I found, which is the OZ. So this is described as the Wizard of Oz meets Mad Max. It is called the OZ is the occupied zone, is what they call it. That's the OZ.
It's like Tin Man.
Yeah, I don't know which came first. I'm not sure which one came first, but yes, you're right. Yeah, the occupied zone. Yep.
I have a hard time with the.
You don't have to like it.
Dystopian Oz.
Yeah, I know.
But I did really like Tin Man, so I don't know. Maybe
Tin Man's alright. It's alright. It's okay.
This one I have seen and not read.
Yeah, I've seen this one as well. Then this is old school Captain Carrot, the Oz Wonderland War. This is actually a 3-issue little miniseries.
Got those on display too.
Yep. These I knew you had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fairly common one people have seen. Then there is Caliber Comics. And so let me go here first. So they did just an Oz book, just Caliber Oz. That ran for a period of time. And then they did Dark Oz, as well as tons of little miniseries and one-shots and all kinds of little connecting things. But yeah, Brian, the artist there, he was actually a guest at Ostravaganza. He was like my 3rd year there, I think. And he drew My Cowardly Lion. I have an original piece of art from him.
Really?
Of My Cowardly Lion. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Bill Bryan. I think his name is Bill Bryan.
Yeah.
And he just did it on his own. He was just sitting there and he was drawing, and then he comes up and he's like, there you go. I was like, yo, that's crazy. So yeah. So Bill Bryan, Caliber Comics, Dark Oz. This is, incidentally, what is considered to be the longest running Wizard of Oz adaptation in comics, because it ran like 24 issues. Now there's more than the 24, because there's then Dark Oz, and then there's all the little miniseries. But as far as like a linear one through a number, this is considered the longest running Wizard of Oz comic adaptation. However, Legend of Oz: The Wicked West reached 25 issues a couple years ago. So we are the longest running Wizard of Oz comic book adaptation in comics. Yes. All
right.
And it was funny because I took that title a few years ago, and someone was like, nope, this one went longer. And I was like, God damn it, they were right. And so I retracted, and now we're back. We're back in. Okay. And then next year we will get to issue 31. So we will clearly, or sorry, no, issue 30. Issue 30. We will clearly be
way past
question all of that. So yeah, Oz and Dark Oz from Caliber Comics. Then of course there was the Marvel adaptions of the books, which were fantastic.
We love Eric and Scotty.
Yep. Yeah, these are fantastic books. They are adaptions of the books. These are not new stories that they're making up.
Those are straight book. And they're wonderful. Scotty Young is one of my favorite illustrators.
Oh yeah.
And they're just both lovely humans.
I've never met Scotty, so I don't know, but I've never heard anything really bad about him, but I've just never met him.
Yeah. I met him at Comic-Con in San Diego. Yeah.
I met
where I had gotten, oh my gosh. So I had gotten this poster of Stan Lee reading to a bunch of kids, which is very Baumian, if you could know that photo. And Stan had autographed it. And it ended up getting lost at the airport.
Oh, no.
Devastated because I can't find it anywhere now.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing that you can get, let alone with his autograph on it.
I met Eric at my second Oztravaganza.
Gosh, I love him.
And he was very cool. He was very interested in what I was doing. He insisted upon paying for my book. I was like, just take it. Just take the book. He was like, no, absolutely not. I'm going to pay you for it. I was like, okay, pay me for my book. He was very cool. Very interesting guy. I would love that he would come back to the show sometime.
So great.
Yeah, he's amazing.
So great.
So I was glad to have gotten that opportunity. Let's see, where are we now? We're here. Eric Shanauer, of course, he does his own Oz books. So this is his stories that continue on from the books and the novels and so on. And it's very, you can see Ozma, she's got her flower crown and all of that. So he's very traditional, original, design wise and all that kind of stuff. So he's been doing his stuff for a while. Yep.
Eureka. I love he does.
Then there was
manga.
Oz, the manga, which was produced by Antarctic Press way back in the olden days. That looks like it's a big omnibus.
We've got some singles, some single issues currently on display. And I don't know how many of the volumes we have, but a couple.
Then there's the steam engines of Oz.
Yeah, got those
Comics,
too.
Which I'm aware of this to some degree. I have never read it. This became a cartoon or something at some point.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. William Shatner was one of the voices in that.
Did not know that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look for that. I was always aware of this, but I just never got it. So there's that. Now the last two are a little weird.
So much Oz out there.
This isn't even tapping the vein. This thing, the Wonderful Oz Trip.
It looks like a different kind of trip.
That's exactly what it is. It is a very different trip. Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Huh. How? I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I would read it.
Sure.
I would read it.
It's that is a thing. That is its own thing. Something for you guys to hunt down. And then the last one that I have is it's Oz adjacent because it uses Oz elements, but it has its own story to it. It is called Into the Dust. Into the Dust. This is about a girl from 1934 who gets swept up in the tornado and dropped off in 1964 Hollywood.
Oh.
So the art is very kind of sepia toned and stuff. This was just a really weird, like, okay, what is this? So it's.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though. Like, you definitely are going to a much more colorful, flowery area, right? So, okay.
Yeah.
I could see it. Yeah, this one I have not seen.
So there we go.
You stumped me on that one.
I probably stumped everybody on that one.
But like the rest of them, we've got.
Yeah, you have some sense of the rest. I missed one. There is actually one that I skipped over. It's called Emerald City Blues. And this one is done by an artist that I know, Carl Allstater. I've met him at many cons.
That
I'm going to go deep on this. He's an old image guy. Old school Image in the 90s. He also worked on Battlestar Galactica in the 90s. When Battlestar Galactica was put on steroids. It is a ridiculous, over-the-top, nonsensical retelling of Battlestar Galactica, and he did that as well. So this was his, I think there's only 3 of these, Emerald City Blues, and he would release these at, you can see the Space Needle in the background. He would release these at Emerald City Comic Con. Yeah. So I think he did 3 of these. Nice. Yeah. So there's Emerald City Blues. One more.
That is awesome.
As we roll out of here, we've done it. We've accomplished it.
There's a couple things that I need to look out for then.
Yeah. I used to have those Emerald City Blues, but I sold them a long time ago.
Shame on you.
I know, right?
You didn't know that you were going to meet a girl who was going to be like, I need it.
I need those books. I'm going to find you that Into the Dust. I'm going to find that for you. That'll be the tough one. We did it.
We did.
Another 90 minutes in the books, guys. The Oz Couple episode 8 is wrapped. Any final questions for us before we bug out of here? We should be back next week without any problem. I will be this coming weekend. I will be at Lansing at Capital City Comic Con. So if anyone's in the immediate zone, come out and see me. Keith Garvey will be there as well. He's one of our artists. He's got to have his own booth, but it's his first ever Comic Con.
What?
Yeah, he's done like little signings, but he's never done a full Comic Con before. So this is his first ever Comic Con. Yeah, 100%. So that'll be exciting. We'll be there, and then next week we'll be here for episode 9, and who knows what might happen. Who knows who might be here? Who knows who our secret guest might be next?
Yeah, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. We proved it here today. Thanks to Laurie for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
For our first hour, talking Oz, talking comics. Check out her book, Path of the Pale Rider. It launches next Friday on the 18th. If you like Westerns, if you like zombie horror, that kind of thing, it's up your alley. If you like the book that I do, Princesses versus Zombies, you'll probably be fine going to try Path of the Pale Rider. And I think that's it. Anything else, Allison? What's happening at the museum this weekend? Anything special?
Oh my gosh. No, nothing. Nothing upcoming.
Don't come.
But if anybody wants to, submit a job application, if you want to work with me, come on.
There you go.
It'll be great.
There you go.
No, I think the next big thing that we're preparing for is in September.
Oh, what's that?
Because we have normally there is all the trendy influencers and vloggers and everything. So the Oz Vlog and Down the Yellow Brick Pod, they do a big retreat weekend at Land of Oz. And of course, Land of Oz is not opening this year. Because they got hit so hard by the hurricane at the tail end of last season. Okay. So they decided to stay closed this year and just continue, repairing everything. And so I had spoken with all the girls, and we're doing the retreat in Chittenango this year. So yeah, it's going to be a nice large group of folks, end of September. And I think they've already capped it as far as the amount of people that are coming. But yeah, that's sort of the focus right now, is to get everything together and make sure we've got some fun programming and and then before I know it, it'll be time to switch out exhibits again and yeah. Day in the life of
and get ready for manager. Get ready for the 15-year anniversary of The Legend of Oz next year.
Yes, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be getting ready for Wicked Part 2.
Right. Yeah. Wicked,
whole Halloween exhibits. It'll end up being one thing after another. That's just kind of how it always is. But yeah, gearing up for some fun stuff.
Awesome. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate you all. Remember, over on Facebook, we have an Oz Couple Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
Go join the page. All
We're
the
an official
videos.
Page.
Yeah, because all of the videos, they're on my feed, but Facebook eliminates them after a month. So we moved all the videos over to the Oz Couple Facebook page.
Nice.
Just type in Oz Couple, you'll find us. So it's all there permanently on that page, and you can go watch all the old videos because Facebook does what they do. And that's it for us tonight. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
It's fun to be here with you. And we will all be back with you next Monday with whatever it is that we're going to do. We'll figure it out in the meantime. See you at Capital C.